Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Biology for All. In this video, I'm going to talk about the functions of the renal tubule. Renal tubule is a part of the nephron. Here I'm drawing the structure of a nephron. So as we know, the first cup-shaped part of the nephron is the Bowman's capsule. This Bowman's capsule extends to form a convoluted tubule, that is the proximal convoluted tubule, which then moves into the medulla to form the loop of Henle, which has a descending limb and an ascending limb. The ascending limb then forms the convoluted part, which is the distal convoluted tubule, that then joins the collecting duct. So this is the structure of the nephron, and in the nephron, the renal tubule or the nephric tubule forms the PCT, DCT and the loop of Henle. Now let us see what happens in each part. Now the PCT is lined by the brush border epithelium that increases the surface area for absorption. Nearly all the nutrients like glucose and amino acids are reabsorbed here, along with 70 to 80% of electrolytes, including sodium chloride, potassium, etc., and water. Other than that, the PCT selectively secretes hydrogen ions and ammonia along with potassium ions into the filtrate and take up bicarbonate ions to maintain the pH and the ionic balance of the body fluids. Next, the loop of Henle plays a role in maintaining high osmolarity in the medullary fluid. We know that the loop of Henle has a descending limb that moves down to the medulla and then turns and moves up back again into the cortex to form the ascending limb and then the DCT. Now, the descending and the ascending limb serve different functions because the descending limb is permeable to water but impermeable to salts. Therefore, water is transported out of the descending limb part. Now, the ascending limb here is impermeable to water but is permeable for electrolytes. So, sodium chloride tends to move out of this part actively as well as passively. Now, this causes the filtrate that is moving towards the DCT to become very dilute. So, this fluid from the ascending limb is now moving towards the DCT. In the DCT, there is a conditional selective reabsorption that happens of sodium chloride and water, and to a certain extent also some amount of bicarbonate ions. In the DCT, there is also some amount of secretion that happens. This is of hydrogen and potassium ions, and also some amount of ammonia, which is secreted into the filtrate by the cells of the DCT. The filtrate now moves into the collecting duct. The collecting duct has water channels, and this allows large amount of water to move away from the collecting duct and thus produces a highly concentrated urine. So the different parts of the nephric tubule performs different function by reabsorbing and secreting different substances. It results in the production of urine. So when we talk about the reabsorption process, there is a limit to what the kidneys can reabsorb. So this amount beyond which the kidneys do not reabsorb substances is called as the threshold level. That means the reabsorption of any particular substance will happen only up to a particular level. So depending on this, there are three different types. Some substances which have a high threshold value, that means almost completely they are reabsorbed, like for example glucose. Now glucose has a threshold value of about 180 milligram per 100 ml of filtrate. That means anything up to this level is reabsorbed, and beyond that is then let to go, which happens in case of diabetic patients where the glucose is excreted because it is beyond this particular level. Then there is a low threshold level where substances which are very less required, so these are like urea, so very less amount of this is reabsorbed, maximum is excreted in the urine. Then there are substances which are of no threshold value, so they are not required at all, like the creatinine, which is completely eliminated.